Hi there, welcome to my channel. I'm Johnny Jenkins and you're watching Speaking for Students, the series where each time we meet a new student doing something remarkable alongside their degree. My guest today is Jess Walmsley from Cumbria, who goes to university in Manchester, a second year international disaster management and humanitarian response student. Jess, welcome. Thanks so much for talking to me today. What a degree title.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, and it kind of takes about a minute to say, and like, wait, what does that actually mean? What do you do? And I'm like, I can't really describe it, but it does what it says on the tin, really.
And Jess, you're involved in quite a lot of stuff alongside doing that degree, and I'm far more interested in the other things you do today. So you do a lot of stuff with the newspaper, don't you?
So before I came to uni, I was really interested in doing journalism. And it was one of the things that made me want to go to Manchester because they have just a massive media group. They don't do a journalism degree, but I think they make up for it in all the stuff they have, like the radio station, the paper, Fuse TV. So yeah, when I got to uni, I was immediately like, I want to write, and got involved with the paper, the Mancunian straight away, really, in Freshers Week. And it's kind of blossomed from there. So yeah, I'm loving doing stuff with the paper.
And had you done any journalism before you went to university?
Not in like a professional manner, but in sixth form, we were encouraged to do something like as an extracurricular activity. And everything that was offered to me, I was not interested in. There was nothing that I could do. And the local papers, I live in Cumbria, a very rural area. They didn't really have a big news team and they didn't really want a student writer, which I was a bit disappointed with. So I started my own sixth form newsletter in sixth form, and probably not the best thing in the world, but I went and interviewed students about their lives, went and did little things around Kendall, which is where I was in sixth form, kind of made it on Word, had them print it in the sixth form office, and then just handed them out. I was like, please read it. I've got a quiz in there. So like little things like that I was really passionate about. So when I could actually write for a proper paper, it was quite exciting because I'd gone from just kind of messing around on my laptop, talking to people, making little quizzes, writing about things I was interested in, to actually being told and helped like with editing and like aided with my writing style as well.
I did a similar thing. I was in year 7 at school. My friend set up the newspaper, and then I was editing it, and there wasn't one, so we made one. And I think a lot of people, I think that's good advice for a lot of people. If your opportunity isn't there, then make it yourself.
I had to go and find it because I was really in a rut. There wasn't really much I wanted to do, and I knew I wanted to do journalism, so I always kind of rushed at the chance to find something. And the paper was fun, it was really fun, and I had people joining me, so I had like a team made at one point. So I had like someone who did fashion, someone who did news. I had one person who used to write me like the longest essay of like what was happening. I think it was when Brexit was happening, and I didn't really have a clue what was going on. Then he gave me this like 2,000 word article. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to edit this now. I've never really done that. But yeah, it was quite exciting just to start something afresh. And I think it sounds really good when you're wanting to go on to write for proper papers. You said, well, I've had experience doing it on my own. It can't be much harder now doing it with a team.
And it's interesting to me that before you did that, you identified a local newspaper. It may not have worked out with them. And I think I often say to people, if you're not sure and set, obviously you can set your own up, but reach out to the local newspaper or local radio station, because often they do want people, but that opportunity didn't quite work out, so you just set your own up. I love it.
It was interesting because I did like little film reviews, and I managed to get free cinema tickets every month to our local independent theatre. And the guy who gave me them used to be the news editor of our local newspaper. So he was like, oh, I'm so annoyed they've not let you on the team. But then even though he wasn't still working for them, he became a bit of a mentor for me. So he'd help me, send me little stories, give me free tickets to things I could go and review. So it was quite exciting. I felt like I had like a press office ticket, but I was just in Kendal, a really small area, writing about like dance shows and comedians and things.
The first time you have that press pass around your neck, you really feel like you've made it. As you say, even if it's just like mine was like a little festival just around the corner from my house. It was very quiet, and I went and interviewed everyone and had the press pass, and you feel like you've made it. You really do.
Even if it's not something you would enjoy. Like I think the first thing I went to was a feminist dance show, and I was like, I have no idea how it's going to work. Really kind of not a clue. And it was amazing. So I was so like excited to go to something I never would have really wanted to go to before. And I loved it. And then I still I think I went to another show the next time they were in town because I just that's amazing. So also a good learning experience because you just get to try new things all the time.
And then you get to write about it as well, and you get to do what you love. So it's perfect, really. Let's come to university then, because you're a second year student now. When you started university a couple of years ago, you were pretty keen to get involved with the newspaper and the different sort of media outlets at the University of Manchester. Were they welcoming? Did you get involved straight away?
Extremely welcoming. It was really easy to get involved. They had little section meetings, and you went and you met everybody. And then obviously, like, Facebook groups are a dream because you can, if you don't feel comfortable going to them, you can just kind of find the story when they posted them later. And yeah, I really gelled with the group. And then from that, I don't know if you've heard of the Women in Media conference that is run, but I joined the committee for that in Freshers as well. And that just got me in touch with like the media team, really, because the chair of that was editor-in-chief of the paper. I had the station manager there, I had other people, and I was head of speakers and scheduling, so talking to all these famous journalists and asking them to come over, but whilst doing that also making friends with the media group. So yeah, the transition to there was really lovely. I made some great friends.
And what a city to get involved in journalism. Manchester, the home of Media City, where so many national broadcasters are now based. That makes it quite special.
It was I was born in Manchester and then moved to Cumbria when I was about 8. So it's always been like my home, and that another reason why I wanted to go. But the journalism scene is just amazing, and you know, I love going to Media City. It's a beautiful place anyway, but it's just always been that dream of mine to go in there one day and do something. And I think being part of the Women in Media conference, I was talking to these people who just worked there, and you know, if the pandemic hasn't happened, I had work experience lined up with them in summer. So it was a really good experience because it is just on the doorstep.
And it's just the most wonderful place. And going in there and having a reason to go there, this place you see on the television, you see on the news, and a lot of news is made there. It's very special, isn't it? Especially if you were born in Manchester, to then be coming back there for university.
It does feel really special, and seeing the places where I used to go when I was younger and then going around them now, kind of, even if I'm reporting on something, it does just feel quite special because it's something maybe I didn't realise I wanted to do, but I think my love of Manchester comes through when I write about it. I used to write for the Manc, which is kind of like a tabloid paper about Manchester. And that was really fun because I was just it was really just lovely to write about Manchester, a place I really love.
It's a place with a lot of community spirit, isn't it? And we've seen that a lot in the past few years. And I've only been a couple of times. I'm not from there or anything, but I can see it. It's very clear to me.
Yeah, it's definitely a community. I mean, even like the worker bee is the symbol of Manchester. You know, it shines through that you can be of any demographic and kind of be accepted in Manchester. And I love it. And I think that comes across in the student paper as well. We know we write about various amount of topics. As you said, with my disaster management degree, I really like writing about what's happening, not maybe on the doorstep, but across the world. And you know, you have people from all different nationalities, ethnicities, who want to also write about if they're international students, write about what's going on in their home country. And I love it. I love hearing about everyone's story and, you know, getting to know people. I think Manchester's a great place to do that.
And here you are now, involved with the newspaper and the radio station. How do you find managing all of that alongside your degree?
Difficult at times, but I love it. It is hard, and I think this semester particularly has been really difficult because I became deputy news editor of the paper, but still haven't met my team in person. And I love my team; they are phenomenal writers, but I've not met them in person, and it's just really upsetting. And I wish I could. But those Zoom calls, I love them. They're really nice. And the radio and everything, we were allowed to go in the studio. For my own radio show, we could go in the studio, which was amazing because I present that with my housemate. So that was lovely because we'd plan it at home and then we'd go into the studio and on a Wednesday night, and it was really fun. And we'd like finish the night really like hyped and buzzed, and it was great. The news show again, that was on Zoom, so that was interesting. I haven't met them, but having these really, you know, lengthy political debates on Zoom, but I don't really know who they are outside of that. So yeah, fitting it in, I think if you love it, it becomes really easy because you want to fill your spare time planning and thinking about it, and yeah, it becomes really fun.
If you're anything like me, people say, how do you fit it all in? I don't know. And I say, well, I just want to do it. It just makes sense. I'm always being busy. I always want to do all these different things. And it just feels normal, doesn't it?
And also, I feel like it gives you something to look forward to, because on my radio show, it's a feminist show about like music, the music industry. So we've been doing interviews with some really cool musicians, and I love it. It's so exciting. Like, oh, what am I doing this afternoon? No, I'm on a Zoom call with so and so because I want to do this for my radio show. Or I spoke to Sasha Lord, the nightlife manager for Manchester, about student life, and I was like, I felt like I got an inside scoop, but also it was really helpful for me because I wanted to know what was going on and when I could go back to a nightclub in Manchester. So yeah, it's always keeping up with things, and especially news. If you enjoy reading the news, it doesn't feel like it's a chore because you're already reading it, so you may as well talk about it and write about it.
How are you able to take a break from it all? Because I work in news a lot, and I try, especially on a Saturday or maybe a Sunday, just to completely switch off and not even hear one bit of news, just to try and disconnect myself from it all. Is that something that you do, or are you sort of always involved?
When you have news alerts on your phone, that can be difficult to escape, because obviously if something happens, you're like, oh, what's going on? And sometimes I'm like, oh, have I missed something? Has something happened? And especially being in Manchester, with everything that's been going on, we've had the protests, everything on, it's been on national news, what's been happening with the fences and Nancy Rockwell. And that especially, I've been, say, like, not on my phone for a couple of hours or something, and I've missed something that's going on. I'm like, oh no, because I know someone got arrested the other day for household mixing, and you kind of, I think that's specific to Manchester, but I feel like if I miss something, you want to be the first person, you want to be part of that team with the breaking news. So I do find it really difficult to disconnect myself, and when I do, I feel a bit like, oh, I could have been there, I could have done that.
I think particularly in news over other types of journalism, because it is so fast moving, it just happens, and a lot of the time it's unexpected. You can feel this need to always be on the phone. I've got a lot of journalists on Twitter notifications, so even on those rest days I'm still getting buzzes all the time. But it's so clear to me, Jess, that you love doing it, and this is what the series is all about, meeting people who do extra stuff alongside their degree. What would you say to someone who maybe wants to start a degree soon, or is doing one at the moment, and not sure if they'll be able to manage doing extra stuff, maybe thinking of dabbling in it? What would your advice be?
Try everything. You can go in there. I might not have wanted to do journalism, but I knew I did. But I also tried other things like choirs and doing some swing dancing and random things I'd never done before. And it enhances your university life. University isn't just about studying. For some people it is, but for me it was more about trying new things, meeting new people, making friends, and I think that should be a main priority. And you can fit it in. You want to go out on clubs, you want to go meet new people, try a new hobby, because you never know where it's going to take you, and I think it's an essential to enjoying uni.
And what's next for you, Jess?
Yeah, I'm really excited to go back in January to university, because I feel like even coming home early for Christmas was like, oh, I don't want to not be in the city or not be with my friends. So I think we're going to try keep the paper. We want to get the paper back in print, because obviously being online. So just keep going and making the radio show and seeing where I can go with that and making connections and seeing where things take me.
Jess, where can we find more about you on your social media?
You can find my radio show at titsfortat __ on Instagram and on Spotify, which you should go and have a listen to, because we have some really good playlists on there and really good feminist discussion. I'm on Twitter at jess.11.walmsley. I'm on the Mac Union as well, but always reach out to me if you ever want any journalism help, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody.
Jess Walmsley, you definitely are a remarkable student, and thanks for speaking to me today.
It's okay, it's been great to chat to you.
If you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you very soon.